Dave here. How are you? Today is the 8th of August. I trust the stream is running well. I just had a quick glance over here. It looked like it was going okay. I hope you've had a good week, even though everyone in Eastern Australia now is in lockdown just about. But that's the way it goes. I need to get out and get a haircut. This is not good. Not good. Today on the show, cut an old formica benchtop down to make a slide-out shelf for the laundry cabinet project. That's the laundry cabinet unit over there that we're making. Thank you for letting me know AV is all good. And this benchtop here on top of my bench is one that I pulled out from down the side here. Remember, I reduced the length of this docking station. It was taking up too much space. I didn't really need it, so now I'm going to utilize part of that bench that I pulled out. This involves bonding a formica edge to the top and flush trimming it as well, fitting it to soft close drawer slides. One other thing is to create a concealed finger pull to the underside of the shelf. So I want to be able to get a hold of the shelf. It's going to be down behind this yellow box where you can't see, of course. But the thing is, what I'm saying is, where the dryer is going to be sitting in this unit, there is a support, the floor for the dryer to sit. And then directly below that is going to be this slide-out shelf. Now, the whole idea of this slide-out shelf is so I can put a washing basket on that shelf, open the door to the dryer, throw things in, and then at the end, obviously, bring things back out. Then the basket will go in underneath and the shelf will slide back in again, and there is a drawer at the bottom. Now, so that fits cypress pine edge to the cabinet. I've done the perimeter. We're going to put one more piece in. I'll give you a couple of tips on how to do that so you don't make a mess. Fit the drawer unit and hopefully make a drawer front if we have time. We're not going to have time, I'll tell you now. Also, we've got a viewer project from Nathan Coyle, and it's a really, really nice box, basically a glory box, I guess you could call it. Nice padded seat, box, hinge, very basic, but it looks really, really nice. And thank you to my patrons, and we'll be having a meeting after the show. So if you want to join in that, click the Show More button. There are links down the bottom there to different things, affiliate links, and also to the Patreon page. Jump in there, and we've had a few new people join in as well. Now, during the week as well, I made what's called the plinth. So this thing here, it's just pocket hole together. This is going to sit on the floor, and then that unit will sit on top of it. Now this will sit back a little bit so that you've got what's called a kickboard. Now that gives you enough room for your toes to go underneath the unit. You're surprised that this actually happens. You don't even give it a second thought. When you stand close to something, you want your body to be close to the bench top and working whatever, and automatically your feet just sneak under, and these guys that work out all the ergonomics for kitchen cabinets and things said, we need kickboards. The other thing I made during the week was the drawer. This is the big drawer that goes in the base. It's the normal way that I build drawers. I'll put a link up here if you're watching the recording at all on how to make these, and during the show I'll throw up other links in the recording. So I wanted to try and get a head start on everything. So the first thing we're going to do is go over there and cut this benchtop down. Now, I'm using soft close drawer slides, these guys here, and depends on the size of the tummy, eh? So I'm going to use soft close drawer slides. Now, the rule of thumb with these things is just take 25 millimeters off the internal dimension of the cabinet, and that is going to be fine as far as the width of the shelf is concerned. Now, the shelf that I'm going to be making out of this, I'm also going to be putting a little bit of this stuff on. This is a bit of formica that's the same profile, the same color I should say, as the top. When you get stuff from different kitchen cabinet companies, they'll send you a couple of these if you happen to be an installer, in case you've got to cut and fit it up beside maybe an oven or something, or a cooktop in a kitchen. So these things I've measured with the calipers. This is around 0.7 of a millimeter thick. I'm going to allow 1 millimeter for it, which means I have to cut a little bit more off that to allow for this. So if I'm going to have a 600 wide unit, which is what that is internally, less 25 millimeters, takes me back to 575. I've got to go 1 millimeter more. So I've got to go to 574. And fingers crossed, it will work. All right. Let me have a quick look through here. Gives you target, kick, don't swear if the grandkids are around. Yes. Bulldozer while listening to Dave. Thanks, Michael. I haven't read back all through it. I've put this in really large screen size so I can see it from when I'm working around here. I can just glance back and see what's on the chat. I'm starting to get the hang of how to do this kind of thing almost properly. Oh, now the thing where I'm going to do the cutting with is my little TS55 track saw, and I have taken off my fine cut blade. Now these blades are color coordinated. That yellow on the outside means it's for wood, basically. And I don't have a laminate cutting blade, but I have an aluminium cutting blade, and it's almost the same profile. Now, aluminium and non-ferrous metals, blue. So I can cut brass, copper, aluminium with this blade, but I can also cut laminate. Now, the laminate blade is a whole lot more money as well on top. Like, it's about the same price as this one, but you know, I get a pretty good result with the aluminium blade. So I'm going to pop it in the track saw. I'll switch the cameras over to the other one over there, and I've arranged even the cameras to work better. How's that? Pretty quick. I was going to say this, Greg, you are a cheeky bugger. All right. Now, with the track saw, I have the batteries out. Not that I really need to in this situation, because when you pull this thing back on the track saw, it disables everything and locks the armature. So there's a little thing there. Pull this out. It locks in position. You have the coloured side facing out. Slide them in, and it just drops in there. It's a 20 millimeter arbor, and then it's got this flange that's got a keyway in the back, or sorry, it's got keys in the back, and also a socket cap screw, I guess that's countersunk, and it's right-hand thread. So it means it turns clockwise. A lot of people, when they are playing around with different things, they wonder if it's a left-hand thread. Some things are left-hand thread only if it's going to optimize tightening the blade as the machine is actually turning. So there you go. Now, I don't have to worry about holding this still, because that's just turning, because I haven't put any pressure on it yet, because the lock on the armature is fitted. See that? Can't turn it. So no fear of cutting myself. You always hold a track saw like this before you release it, otherwise it goes bang. And it's, you know, look after your tools and they'll look after you. All right, this thing here is called the splinter guard, and also it assists in the dust collection. The splinter guard for the offcut. Now, we're going to be doing the offcut on this side. When I say we're going to be doing the offcut, it's going to be, I'm going to be putting the track saw over the top of, the body of the saw will be cutting, this is my waist on this particular one, my offcut will be this side, and the offcut's the one that I actually want. Now pop that in there. If that makes sense, you know, you're doing better than me. All right. Pop that out of the way. First of all, we'll put the batteries in. With these things, if you've got a Bluetooth battery, it goes in the bottom. This saw will work on a single battery, but will only turn at 3000 RPM. If you've got both batteries in, it's become a 36 volt saw and will turn at 5400 RPM. There you go. No extra fee for that. Oh, the other thing, when you're putting it back, come on, there's a little slot here that takes the Allen key. Use it. Then you never lose the Allen key. Move that out of the way for the moment. All right, what did I say? I wanted 5. What's that? What's happening here? Same every week. I swear someone logs on just to do that. Okay, well there you go. Some sort of thumbs down, have they? All right, I wanted 575, and then we have to make it narrower again. So it's 574. And then what we can do also is allow for the blade thickness, which is 2.2 millimeters thick. Seeing I'm working from the right-hand side back. Let's make sure that I don't stuff this right up. So 575 or 574 is there. Make sure I got the right specs. Get the other ones. Oh, there, that's better. I can see again. 574. And I want to go that way 2 millimeters. So I'm going to make it 576. And we should be right on the money. There is a little bit of give in there as well. Now, I'm going to use tape. Now, it's not for any other reason than I better put a mark across here first. This is for when I spray the contact adhesive. So I'm getting slightly ahead of myself here. When I spray the contact adhesive on it to put the other piece on, to glue the edge onto this, I don't want the contact adhesive going all over this part, because then I'm going to have to clean it off. So why not do it now? Then I haven't got to worry about that. This is not an anti-chip that I'm doing. Although it might assist a little bit. Take that dog out, bring it forward. Leave that hang for a second and get a knife. And fold that over there so it doesn't get in the way. Bring this out further. Back under. Cool. All right, move these out of the way. I'm going to measure that again. You know, the old saying, the old adage, measure once, or measure twice, cut once. You know what? That was lucky. That was very lucky. I was 100 millimeters under. Now, I did that on purpose. So I've got to go 576. I'd gone 476. I was looking at the wrong side of the 500 mark. I was looking at it and I was thinking, that's just a little bit narrow, Dave. Kind of was saying, hey, what's the story here? That's better. That's much better. Have you ever had that happen? About to cut something and look at it and you think, hello, that's not quite right. I'm sure you have. We're going to run that tape again. Didn't take long. That's better. I don't feel so stupid now. Slide it along. Now, some people have asked me why I've got this here, and they say, is this aluminium track that you're using? It's not aluminium track, it's resin. I poured this and filled this with resin. I cut it out with a router, 1/4 inch wide, and this is for scissors. So when Vicky uses this for cutting material, I've got a tape embedded in here as well, so she can just slide the material up to where it is, and then it's a guide to give her a nice square cut. That's all it is. And also it's an identifier for me, so when I push this up like that, I can see pretty much where it is straight away. Actually, I might bring that camera around a little bit closer for you. And a bit that way. Up a touch. Unlock it, then it won't turn, hopefully. There we go. All right. Then I drop this. And I've got to come along a little bit further. And back just a touch. That's it. That's where I'm going to cut. These things here are my little invention. You may have seen them. I did a video on it. Right. I must. Yes. It's happened to you, but you wouldn't admit it, eh? Now that I've got this saw on the track, I'm going to release this and then push this down, and it's going to make contact with the surface there. That's done, see it's down lower than it was before. I'm going to do a scribing cut first at 2 millimeters deep, which means I'm going to pull the saw backwards. The saw is turning this direction, so it's going to be going down into the surface rather than cutting up and chipping things out. It's one of the big things. You can use any saw to cut laminate, just as long as you do this reverse scribe cut. Very thin, a very small, thin cut in reverse. And I need to plug this in. One little thing that I forgot to do this before I started the show today. Where'll we plug it in? Up here, I think. Hey Google, turn the battery charger on. Come on. Okay Google, turn the battery charger on.
Got it. Turning the battery charger on.
There we go. Ha! Oh dear. All right. Push this little button down here, Bluetooth it. Done. All the modernisation, hey? All right, as I said, up against there, I'm square, it's all good. This is up here, reverse cut. Beautiful. Measure the thickness of the bench. And now allow another 3 millimeters. This is 34, sitting on the top there, plus 3 makes 37. I may even go 38. So this one here, I slide down to 38 on this mark here. All right. Measuring twice, 35, 38. Now this way, I'm going to go forwards, but I'm going to go very slowly. Pop that down on the floor for the moment. Lift that up. And there is my cut, which looks pretty good. Okay, bring it over here. All right. Back to this one. And have a quick read down here. Wrong side. I'm cutting the wrong side of the line. To be honest, we're all the same boat. Full of battery charger ads. Okay. Now. Where's that strip of edge stuff? There it is. Next thing to do, you can see the cut is really good. That's just a superb cut. Next thing to do is to put this on there. Okay, so we're going to glue that on. And while we're waiting for that to dry, we'll do a little bit over there on that. Just got to measure the depth. I might have to cut this down front to back as well. What do we got in here? I've got 600 overall on that one. And this one is 620. I've got to cut the back off as well. Yes, I do. So I'll do that now. Move this one over here. Move this one out of the way. All right. Switch the cameras again. All right, now I will move this back just a touch so you can see what I'm up to. Good. All right. Now, I'm going to move another dog to here. That comes out of there, and we'll pop it in there. And then slide this along. This it makes things so easy. Now, the depth I want will be, I'm going to make it 550 deep. The reason, I want it 550 deep, the reason being the slides are only 550. And I don't need it to go all the way up. Well, the washing basket's only this big. It's not going to be a long way. So let's come 550, and I'm not even going to, I'll go 560. I'm not even going to put a mark there. I'm just going to do it. I'm not going to worry about putting tape on this one because I'm not going to be spraying adhesive onto this at this stage. What I might do further down the track is rip this and then domino it on. We'll see. I might find a bit more of this and fix that up after. Okay. Good. Eye muffs. I'm enjoying the lockdown. You know, it's just one of those weird things. But I've got this really nice place to hang out. Okay. Did you see any dust before either? Back to there, and we're going to do the scribe cut. 3 millimeters. Reverse. You'll see dust that way because it's just throwing it out in front. The cut normally supports it. 38, wasn't it? Something like that. Now there's no dust. Right at the end there, there's it. Yeah, see, so I might rip this down, and then I've got a beautiful edge on that, and that could be the new back later on. We'll see what happens. He just came straight out with it. Oh well, not to worry. Do a quick diagonal check. 802. 802. I love it. This is so accurate. All right, move that out of the way. And that, and that. All right, so I want to spray onto this. How I'm going to do that is, give me a second. It's cold outside, but I've got to do this outside. I don't like doing spraying contact inside the building. I don't have to go a mile away. You can watch. I'll spin you around this way. You can see what's happening outside. Like so. I'm going to put this in the super jaws. This way up. Beautiful. So that's going to hold it for me. And this one. When it works, eh? When it works. All right, gloves and a mask. And I'll come back out there. It's bloody cold outside. It's 7 degrees here at the moment. 21 inside the building, 7 outside. I don't want to be out here too long. As I've mentioned before, when you're putting these things on, don't blow in them because it'll end up filling it up with moisture and they'll stick to your hands. And you won't even be able to get them on properly. They'll start tearing. Oh, something I've noticed, you know, I've lost all this weight. Something I've noticed, my left hand used to have a tremor. Gone. Steady as a rock. Unbelievable. The little things that happen that, you know, byproduct of doing this kind of stuff. Also, here's another tip. If you wear glasses, when you're putting these masks on, close your eyes, because otherwise your glasses are going to touch your eyeballs and will leave a little mark. Make it hard to see. Okay. I'm using this because I've got 2 other cans. One's a Sikaflex and the other one is Quick Grip from Selleys, I think. But they're nearly empty. This one, I mentioned before, a rep gave me these things, so I thought I'd give them a try. Give it a shake. I've given this a fair bit, the reason being it's very porous. Give it one more pass. The formica itself, I haven't had to do a lot because it's, after you do it, spray it upside down to clear the nozzle. You know, I can feel it on my skin already. I can feel it on the hairs on my arms. Shut that. Come back over here. Okay. Yeah, you can feel it just as I move my arms around. It's just a little bit grabby. It says to wait a minute, which we will. Have you ever thought of making a large video camera scissor arm attached to the wall? Yeah. I've had people do that, keep on pushing me to do that. And I haven't done it yet. All right. So you say, it says, wait a minute, and then put it together. So we'll put it on very soon. I'll go and grab it. It's just I didn't like being in here when I was spraying. It's just horrible. Bring this one in first. Release this. Shut that, and we're not going to be so worried about temperature. That's pretty good. Okay, so you can see that's the colour of it now. And that was the colour prior. So you can see it's well saturated. A gibber. John, I lost probably 14 kilos all up. The first week was hard, and then after that it was easy. I did a video. I'll put a link up here if you want to watch the video on how I did it. I'm not promoting anyone. I just tell you exactly how I did it. Rather than try and tell everyone again and again and again, watch the video. But 12 kilos in 12 weeks, and then just, I was 84. I balanced out. I range between 70, 72 now. So, you know, now I don't have to be as strict with what I was doing, where the first, you know, few weeks you've got to be strict. You've got to get your body into a routine, where it's, I think it's ketosis, what they call it, and that's just, you know, great. Next thing. We don't need the track saw anymore, but I'm not giving it away. What I'm going to do is disconnect it from the dust extractor, put it over there, move the dusty back out of the way. Yeah, I just got sick and tired of the muffins. Oh, this muffin thing happening here was pissing me off, and my gut was starting, you know, and I could see it was happening every day. I could see I was on a bloody, it was increasing, and I thought, no, I've got to stop this. You know, the main thing, as I say, put your jeans on, tighten the belt up. I was starting to get an overhang, and also these side things. They were, oh, I might be vain, but I think I might end up increasing the length of my life. So I've had a couple of people get back to me and say thanks. They've used what I did, and they're over the moon. You know, one guy's got back to me and said he's dropped 5 kilos in 5 weeks. Do it. Do it. John, that happens a lot. I've heard of people do that. All right. Still tacky. This one's good. I got to let that dry off a little bit more. Right, so what we're going to do is over here, again, I might go over today. If I do, you can watch or not, whatever you want to do. Set this camera around and push this back. Out of the way. There. I'll just keep my eye on that so it doesn't annoy me. And then I'm going to lay the cabinet down because it's a whole lot easier to work on a cabinet on the front of it when it's lying down. And that's what I'm going to work on. So I'm going to use one piece of 4x2 or 4x1.5. This is 100 by or 95 by 38. And I'm going to lay it down in the middle. I'm going to switch the cameras around again. and I'll show you the easy way to do this. Okay, you can see I've got this piece down here. This is my cabinet. I'm going to turn her around. Oh, the other thing I did last week was I screwed the back on and just run around with a flush trim bit around the edges. It was 4 millimeters out of square, but over this distance and the type of construction it was, being a sheet good product, it didn't matter. So when I put the back unit was really square, so I just lined it up to one corner, drilled it and screwed it all off with 2-inch screws, countersunk them all in, and that pulled it square. Perfect. All right, so I'm just going to lie it down, but I'm going to lie it down so that that piece of wood is right in the middle. So now it's sitting here a bit like a seesaw. I can do this, which means I'm not going to, I don't know how, I need to lift this up a little. Come around here. Which means I don't have to fight with it and try and get my fingers underneath to lift it up if I've got a block at the other end. Yeah, it makes sense. All right, that is for the drawer down there. I don't want that. So this here, I'll take these out because they're going to be trouble. Put that over there. Do a quick test on this again. Getting very close, very close. Take these screws out of here. Put them with the other ones. All right. Piece of wood. I think it's this one. Now, cypress. Let me show you a couple of things. While I'm down here. I think you can see me from here. This is what I was after. See, I've got cypress pine around the areas where this unit is going. So I needed to try and get it to marry in with what's happening with the rest of the laundry. This was in the timber rack, and I put it through my under-over machine, and I got this to 16.1 millimeters. Can you believe it? It is perfect square, the thickness of the sheet of melamine. It's just beautiful. Now, what I've done is I've glued this onto the melamine, particle board melamine, and then I nailed it with 18 gauge brads. Now your standard brads are 16 gauge. So a lot of people know them as a C nail. So it's a 16 gauge, but they're too big for this. And they would have split the cypress because this is seasoned 20 years in my timber rack. That's horribly brittle. Now, also what you need to do is check, do a test. So I set the nail gun at different pressures. Set it too deep, it's going to split it because the hammer that's driving the pin in is also going to go into the timber, and it's larger than the actual nail. Too small, it's going to sit up and you're going to have to go around with a nail punch. Then you're going to run the risk of shocking the timber as you hit the nail in. That may split the timber, and that's no good. So that's what I did there. I need to cut this down ever so slightly. What I normally do is I will write the length on them. Now that I said that, of course, it's not going to be there, and cut it just a touch longer than what I need. So I've got to cut this down on the Capex. Give me a second. Need to take just a smidgen off it. Now it's going to make a little bit of noise whilst I do this. Now how I take a smidgen off is I bring the saw blade down and I just touch it. Give me a second. That's one cut. Let's see how we go. And that's going to do it. Now, when I'm doing this, I try and make it ever so slightly longer than what I want, because then I can, as it goes in, it's going to be a really nice tight fit, and it will also put a slight dent in the timber. It's not gonna push the timber off the melamine because it's already been glued on and nailed yesterday, so that's fine. So it's going to be a nice tight fit. Glue and a brush. I'm keeping my eye on what's happening over there. Here's another tip. When you're putting glue on particle board, don't actually put the nozzle down and drag, because what will happen is you'll pull up little bits of particles out of the particle board, and they will act as a little holder-upper to stop this going down properly, and that's going to piss you off, to put it bluntly. So I just try to make sure that I've got glue, and I keep it above it a little bit. You'll notice that Cole puts his glue on a board, a little bit there, and just a little bit there, and then he'll just brush and put it on. So a brush is a whole lot less annoying to the particle board than the nozzle on a glue bottle. I'm not concerned about it going off the edge. I'll show you why in a second, because I can get to all of that. See, it's starting to run. Doesn't worry me. All right, brush out of the way. And let's have a look at the best face that I've got here. I'm going to go with this one. Now this end here, the clothes dryer is going to be sitting in here and sitting on this side. Good. All right. Now again, I've got it set to 4. And I'll give you a couple more tips as well as I'm going along with this. Your scarpering coal. Okay. Now, the brads in here are 32 millimeters long. Rule of thumb, when you're nailing something onto something else, if it's kind of long grain or a sheet product, or side grain or sheet product, whatever thickness this is, that's the length of the nail. That's rule of thumb. Obviously, it doesn't apply to something that's only 3 millimeters thick. This is 16, so 32 millimeters is perfect. If I was going into end grain down here, if this was a piece of end grain this way, I would double what this is and add it. So it'd be 3 times the thickness. Now, the other thing is, I can use my fingers to line up where I'm at, but if I keep away, I'm going to come in 50 millimeters to start, because I don't want to go too close because I'll split it. If I split it, it's no big drama, I can glue it back together. But then I go another distance and I aim it straight down. If I tip the gun sideways at all, it's going to come straight out the side of the shelf, and I'll be, again, I'll be annoyed. Okay. The reason I'm staying back is so that I don't give the nail any chance to come back and get me. One more, right there. Gotcha. Okay, goggles off. Now, the reason why I wasn't concerned about the glue is because it's a water-based glue. Get a rag, wet it and squeeze it out. Both sides. See, cypress comes up really nicely. The filler I used was pine. I should have really gone with something darker, maybe a dark hardwood. I'll put a link. I think I've already got a link in the description box down below the bottom to Carbotech. and the stuff that they have there for the colour that I think. All right, I'm going to go over here and see how this is doing. My hands are wet. I need to dry them. Let me have a feel of that. You know what? I reckon I can put that on now. All right. So I'll bring it over to that camera over there. Battery cam. And I'm going to put it here to glue it on. All right. So that's dried enough for me. I love this bench. Yeah. Done. All right. Now, this thing. Let's see how we go. Put it on the front. Block of wood. It's got a pretty good grip. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to give it a second. I'm going to do some stuff down here, but I'm going to put some clamps on this as well, just to hold it for the next 10 minutes. So that I don't want to rush it. This is why I love parallel clamps. I can just do anything with them. Now it's right at the front, pulling it down nice and tight. Good. Lovely. I'll get another one of my clamps and go around to this side to hold it. You can't see what I'm doing here. I'll flick to the other camera. There you go. So I've just put this clamp on here, and then I put this clamp on the face of my bench. I can release this one now, move it out of the way, and put a clamp here. Actually, what I might do is put a clamp on there now and then cut that laminate. If I go right to the edge, I can hold it so it's not going to shock it while I cut it. So I'm going to cut this. I'll use my Japanese saw. Where's my folding one? Oh well, that's right, I can't see it there for the moment. Just going to cut it down so it's not creating me any headache for me. Done. I didn't want it to catch on anything. Now I can spin this around and go back in there. Like so. Beautiful. All right. Now I can take it out of there and lean it somewhere out of the way while that just gets that last little bit of bond. I'll put another 2 clamps on there while I'm doing that. You know, if you've got the clamps, use them. can see what I'm doing over here. Come on. I put them at a slight angle. Just bring it back here so you can see what I'm up to. Good. Now go back over there. Substantially heavier than it was. All right. Now, get the trimmer, and we'll do a little bit more to this. A 1/8 round over I think I was going to use. Now that I've said that, I've probably lost it. No, there it is. Come back over to this camera. This little guy here is a 1/4 inch 1/8 round over. I'm going to put it in the little battery trimmer. No battery in there. Very important while you do this kind of stuff. And lock the spindle. Got it. Battery. Hey Google, the charger off.
Okay, turning the battery charger off.
Cool. Just going to set it to the height. Dave, did you think about cypress trim on the edge? On the edge of... tell me, on the edge of what? Wayne? So what I'm doing now is I'm just sighting down there to make sure that I'm right. Done. Go back down just a touch. Done. Now this thing makes a heap of dust. Goggles. And I'll spin this around again so you can watch what's going to happen down here. Okay, switching cameras again. All right, this little guy, aim it up. I'm going to put a round over all the way around on here and then across the bottom. I'm not going to do the outsides up because that's cupboard. This is wall. This is round both sides here, round both sides here, inside. The reason this is both sides is because the drawer is going to be here. It's going to have a cypress trim as well. All right, this is going to make a bit of a noise. You may want to turn your sound down. Now my seesaw is actually a little bit annoying at the moment, so I'm going to move it forward so its center is that side. That's better. Here we go, start it again. Done. Cool, that looks really nice. Now, we're going to do the same thing over here. Switch the cameras back. So I'm going to take this out of the clamps now. That's been in there long enough. And I'll use that little cutter, but I'm going to raise it up. So it's only just a little touch. So that will give me the slight round as well. Take these clamps off. Now, this is what they call an upstand. The reason being that it's sitting up, like it's across the front. So that's called an upstand. So I've got to run the trimmer from the side. So I'm going to put it back in here and trim around that way so you can watch. Very generous of me, isn't it? Clamp him back in. This is going to throw stuff everywhere, so I need to have some like drink before I do it. Now, yes, correct, fix-it fingers. What I'll be, the cutter turns clockwise. So what I want it to do is cut into the product. The other direction is called a climb cut, and I use a climb cut in other situations. But in this situation, I'll be going around the outside, which is counterclockwise. All right, now I need to raise this up higher. All right. Where's that off cut? There it is. So I can use the off cut on the side here. And that's going to do it. Check it again. That's pretty good. Fingers crossed. Gonna make a little bit of noise again. Need a lid for the coffee cup. Thanks you, Nathaniel. Oh dear. Alrighty. So I'm going to go down this side first. Move this. Bit of noise. That's just so nice. Looking pretty good. That's just the contact bunching up as it's cutting. Round the corner. There we go. Now, I could have gone on Carl Cam there, couldn't I? This is the thumbnail. It's an exclusive tool. Everyone's given one at birth. And that's just beautiful. Now I can take the tape off. I'm glad I put that tape on. At this stage, I can also go use a file to tidy it up, if I wanted to. Now I'm going to go over time a little bit today. The reason being, I want to fit this. No, sorry, the next thing we've got to do is create the finger pull. So we're right on 12. So we've done the full hour. That is so good. Take this one off. This was the one where I stuffed up. Let's go to Carl Cam and you can have a look from above. I looked up. What an idiot. I can't believe myself sometimes. Where is my cursor? There it is. There we go. So you can see it there. That's got the 8mm round top and bottom. And it's come up so well. Whoop. Tipping things over. There it is again, there it is again. Magic. You still have 2 thumbnails. So nice. All right. Give me a sec, I'm going to move this down here and we'll start the next stage, which is really good. Will work really well. Switch cameras again. Take the battery out so it doesn't accidentally start. John, I've got the that jib arm. I'm going to have to do it soon. Or just buy more cameras. I think about there might work. Let's have a look. All right. Are you enjoying it? Are you enjoying it? That's the main thing. If you're enjoying it, that's great. I think about there. All right. Next thing, pencil and my square. We'll come around this side. Bianca, you are late, you naughty girl. All right, now, to create a finger pull, this shelf is going to be in the unit like that, and then I've got to try and get a hold of it and drag it out to put a washing basket on here. The dryer is going to be there. So I need to be able to get this. Remember that there's a piece of melamine over the top. This is going to be going underneath the support that the dryer is sitting on. So I want to create a finger pull around about 20mm in on the underneath side. And I'm going to put it along there. Now give me a sec, I shall get a tape measure. I'm going to use a 3/4 inch core box bit in the router, on the router table. So I want to come back to the center, will be 530mm to the center here. So I'm going to set the fence on the table saw, which is also used for my router table, 530 to the center. I've already got the bit in there. Good enough. Right on it, as a matter of fact, 530. I'll lock it down. Now the secret to this is I need to have some reference marks here. So I'm going to square directly right over the top of my core box bit that's in there and just draw a line straight out. Then I'm going to go 50mm either side of that line. Like so. And put a square line there as well. A square line at the 50 on the other side. So now I have a reference out there. So when I start, I'm going to be starting at my first reference point, and when I finish, I'll be finishing at my second reference point. just here. It'll make sense. All right. Now, I need to raise the router cutter up. I don't want to take too much off in one pass. So I'm going to come up about that high. Close this, get my eye muffs again. The other thing is because I have a lot of mass. Oh, you're enjoying it, Leslie? Good. So I have to leave. I want to finish new stock fence. Okay, see you later, Kiwi. It'll give me more camera positions, John. Let me have a look, see if this is still okay. Yeah, that looks fine. Now the other thing is I have no plate in here at the moment. The reason being this is such a large piece and I want to have as much downdraft as possible. So there's no plate going to be in there. You can see that's how far back from the front the finger pull's going to be. I can actually feel a draft there just from the unit itself. All right, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my pencil under here. I'll take that rubber off the end of it. So I'm going to put a pencil under there, about there. Slide it along to there. Use these guys. And now I can turn that on in a second. Slide the pencil out. Because I'm clear of the cutter, I've looked underneath and it's all good. Pushing down on the back, turning it on, it's going to make a noise. Okay, I've got it there. Pulling the pencil out very slowly. It's going to drop down onto it, it'll make a noise. Come on. Holding it. You can actually hold it better like that, I think. Good. Goes down. Move the pencil over there until I come to the second line. The first line, I should say. Turn her off. Now what I can do this time, wait for the router to finish, and you can have a quick look. Instead of using the pencil trick, so we've got that section there. So what I'm going to do this time, it was catching on that tape, is, no, it's actually caught that as well. Not to worry. I'm going to put it on top at the first line, like so. Put this over it. I'm going to turn it on, then I'm going to raise the cutter up from underneath while it's turning. Whoop, caught it just a little. So now I'm going to raise it. That's enough. Lock it. And slowly tip push. Until we get to the second point, or the first one. And stop. And wait. There we go. I'm going to bring it back ever so slightly until it gets to there. This time, I'm going to hold it up and lower it down. Got it. With this gripper here, I've got a good grip on it. And I can come back ever so slowly. Whoa, she wanted to take off. Got it. Don't try this at home, kids. Done. A little grab there. It's all right. So now I've got a finger pull. Look at that. There's probably safer ways to do it. I could have put it there and just put a stop. See where it is there. I could have anchored a stop across here in timber. That probably would have been a safer way to do it. And then just simply lower it down onto the cutter to do the push. I think that's what I should have done. All right. There we go. All right, next thing. All right, other camera. No. Oh, you like the idea with the pencil, Wayne? Well, it wasn't great. It wasn't a great idea. Using the trimmer to break the edge. Not sure. Not sure. Let me get into the next stage. Now we want to stand this up, but I want to stand it up upside down. There's a reason. We're just about done. So I'm going to stand it up upside down. Such a nice little unit. I like it. I like it a lot. This is the reason we're going to do this. Bring this back. And lower this one down. There we go. Now, I'm going to put the drawer slides in there. And which ones? It's going to be these. I've already fitted them out. So that's going to go there. Now, they finish flush with the melamine on purpose. I want these screws, which are the Euro screws. These guys here that I always use for these. It's just me. And we'll use an electric screwdriver to put them in. I'm going to have to get in your way for a second, sorry. Come on, come on, come on. Play fair. Actually, I'll use this ordinary screwdriver just to get it started. Because it's got a little bit of magnetic happening. Actually, I think it's going to be quicker just using an ordinary screwdriver. And on the other side. It's great when the mechanics of it all work and it all comes together. You think, wow, I did that. So we will be doing the Patreon meeting directly after this. Let's tip it up a little bit. That's a little bit better. Cypress pine. I love the smell. If you ask Bianca what cypress pine reminds, the smell of cypress pine reminds her of, she'll tell you. Cool. Now, why are we doing this upside down? I'll show you. Where is it? I got a piece and it was out here. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There it is. Okay. Piece of plywood. I'm going to cut that in half because I want support both sides. Bit of a noise. Okay. Like so. Slide these back in. These back in. Moment of truth. Let's see if this fits. Wrong way up, David. That way. Let's see if it fits. Oh, I'm happy with that. I'm going to bring it back to there. I think I need to think for a second about how this is going to work. So I need the glasses on. If that's going back to there, I need that to be 20 millimeters back, 16 millimeters back from the front. So I'll use a rule. Yep, that's perfect, that side. And this side will come to 16. Yep. All right, now drill a hole, 5 millimeters. Plastic wedge instead of a pencil. That's fine, John. Peanut butter sandwiches, exactly right. How many people we got watching? I haven't had a look. Okay. One. And these are a self-centering drill. One. I'm just going to set it to around 7 or 8, I think. I think using a standard screwdriver is going to be better than that. Let's have a look. That's pretty good. All right, out to the next one, which is there and there. And this. All right, there's one here. And this one. I'm going to do the one on the other side while I'm doing this so it doesn't get heavy and start to sag and throw it out. That. Nearly there. It's going to look really sexy when it's finished. I so enjoy doing this kind of stuff. Which way? There. And the last one. $111. Wow. Amazing. Now, we can take that back, take my 2 packers out, and soft close. Beautiful. Okay, we're going to flip her up the right way, and you'll be able to see how it works. Spin her around to the other camera. All right. Every time you put something in it, it makes it that little bit heavier too. Cool. And up. And we'll pivot it around. Like so. Get this guy. And let's throw the drawer in while we're here. Actually, we're not going to throw the drawer in at the moment. I'll do it during the show. Go to the other camera. There we go. What do you think? Finger pull. Soft close. Do it again. Clothes dryer here. Washing basket here. Washing basket in under there when I'm done. And back. What do you reckon? Watching the show from your boat, David? Thanks, John. Thanks a lot. Well, there you go. I struggle through. Sometimes I do things that I possibly shouldn't on the show, and I think to myself, maybe I shouldn't do that. Anyway, looks organised. Okay, oh, we've got one more thing I was going to do. Have you got another 5 minutes? I think I might put the tape on down the bottom. Let's have a look. All right, so we'll spin her around. It's a nice solid unit, that's for sure. Down on his back. Good. I've got to put iron-on tape on here. Where's the other camera? I'll keep going. All right then. Thanks, Wayne. Thanks for the approval and the permission to keep going. So this area here, I've got to put iron-on tape on. And it's a bit tricky, but I think we'll be okay. Come back a little bit further and maybe up. All right, I need an extension lead. And I think I need Google to turn that battery charger back on. Hey Google, turn the battery charger on. No, I want it on, moron. Hey Google, turn the battery charger on.
Sure, turning the battery charger on.
Thank you. Puh. Puh. All right, I'll plug this in. Oh dear. What's happening to us? What is happening to us? Viewers' contribution. Of course, let's do that right now while we wait for the iron to heat up. Good on you. Thanks, Peter. So, Nathan Coyle has been making a really, really nice box that you could use as a blanket box or what have you. Let's come out of this view. Yeah, David, I'm going to use the hardwood filler in the spots that I've done. All right, so now Nathan Coyle has made this beautiful box. Let me see where we are. There. What do you think of that? How nice is that? And he's done it using pocket screws. Here's the next picture, inside. Piano hinge across the back. Very, very neat upholstery work on the top. Nathan, that's a credit. It's absolutely beautiful. Oh, while we're here, we'll come back to here. I'll show you a quick video of where this unit that we're making now, where it's going to go, whilst I just wait for the iron to finish heating up. But what do you think of that? Nathan's done a beautiful job. Okay, here. That's where it's going to go, in that unit there. I'm going to do a bit of cutting and organising, but that's where it's going to go. My Google refused to do it. Yep. Nathan, very, very nice. Very, very nice indeed. Where are we? Let's go back to camera 3. I think it's just about ready. Now, I'm going to cut some tape, and I think I'm going to do this one first across here. From there to there. I'll just tear it at the moment. Get the iron and get into my domestic duties. It's a little iron that Peter gave me. Now, Peter gave me that. What I was going to say was, I cut the tape straight for different spots, but I'll show you that in a second. This is going to be just get this part done to start. This is a tiny little iron. I think Peter got it from Spotlight. Got one for me and one for Vicky. I don't ordinarily use brown paper. Some people recommend it. I don't use it. I've never really seen the need. Block of wood. Something that's not going to stain. I just use a piece of pine, radiata pine. I'm going to need to use a chisel on the end. And I'm hoping I've got a reasonably sharp chisel. Get my mallet. I'm basically going to do all of this chisel only. Good. Now, I'm going to take the edge off with the chisel as well, if it's sharp enough. And this side, I'm going to come in slightly until I'm on it. and then come from the other side and finish it off back that way. That's pretty good. All right, next thing to do, I've come in just a little bit there, but that's all right, we can fudge that. Now, the trick here is these things here are my end cutters. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut it in there. So I've got a nice straight cut, nice edge. There's my 90-degree cut straight away. You can't see it against the unit. So now I can bring it from here down to here and just do a tear off. And I'll leave that one there. And I'll cut the other side as well. Again. Done. On this side. And a tear off. Struggling getting focus on it. If I put my arm in the way, it might work. There we go. There's so much white there. All right, I'm going to bring it so I'm kind of favouring the outside because I want it to go there. Oh, jingos, don't pull it up. There we go. The power lead was holding it. Block of wood, wherever it is, up here. Yeah, Nathan, that's a really, really nice box you made. Where's it going to go? Where are you going to keep it? Inside. Bedroom, lounge room. Come from this side. Tape the other one. Put that in there. That's all good. Oh. Bit dodgy there, David. I think we just got out of too much trouble. Disconnect the iron straight away because I'm not going to be using it anymore. Block of wood. And the chisel again. And you watch the curly as I cut it. See that? And back this way. Back this way. And down here. Done. Now the last thing we do is give it a light sand without any mess on the paper. Very important. This is very important. If you're going to sand this stuff, make sure there's no sawdust left on here because what will happen, the sawdust will come off this and ingrain itself into the tape. So very important. I'm using 400 grit paper and I'm just going to go straight off. Beautiful. Out comes the thumbnail again. There might be a little bit of that glue residue in there still, but that is beautiful. And whilst we've got it there, let's do it. Oh, where are they? Over there. The drawer slides. So we can put the drawer in, and then I'm not going to do a drawer front. You saw that I possibly was going to do it, and then I think I said, no, forget it. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. Not going to take long. Now you may be curious why the drawer slides are in the center. That's because it's a very deep drawer. If it was at the bottom, there's going to be a whole lot of chance for it to rock. If it was at the top, also not as much. Suspended is better than supported in a drawer deep like this, but the center is actually the best, I've found. You know, other people might think differently, and that's good. Good on them. It's whatever works. And if it doesn't work, tell people, yeah, it does. Try to remember to take them off before I iron them. The ironing to be done around here. I enjoy ironing. It just called me weird. There's a lot of things that I really enjoy doing. I love ironing my own clothes. I don't like ironing other people's clothes. And I love mowing the lawn. Instant job satisfaction. You do it and then bang, there it is. There's your result. Carl, how was your visit from the grandchildren? Are they all good? They still using those desks that you made? Remember the desks that Carl made? That's cool. Now also, if you have any viewers' projects, send them in to me, just like Nathan did. And Peter will remind me to pop them up. Did I cut this or not? Yes, did I drill this? Yes, I did. I think, or didn't I? I haven't opened that one up. That's all right. I will do it now. Do it now, David. No time like the present. 6 millimeters. Where's my drills? There they are. 6 has got to be in one of the drills. No, it's not there. Is it in this one? No. Oh my goodness, it could be anywhere. It could be absolutely anywhere, that 6 millimeter drill bit. So I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it at this stage. We'll put it in, put the other drawer slide in, stand the unit up, and then you can see it. I'll take it out later on. One more. Did you see that? They're your picker-uppers. Screwdrivers become magnetised over time. I don't know why that is. If anyone's got some smart ideas as to why that is, let us know. All right, stand her up, put the drawer in, and that'll be our show for the day. All right. drawer down there. This is the front. Tip him down a bit. Line her up. That one's in. And this one. This one. Beautiful. So the drawer works and the shelf works. Love it. Done. What an epic. Hour and 40 minutes. Oh, well, if you had nothing else better to do, why not? All right, wonderfully exhausted, but oh, good, good. 4-year-old and 8-year-old for 3 weeks, do the maths. So we all walk around the shop looking for something. This ran away with a 10mm socket. I could have done. I need to read my run sheet to make sure that I haven't left anything out. It's probably with a 6mm drill bit. Yes, gone. It's buggered off. All right. You like that? Do you like it? This is going to be so nice. As I say, the dryer's going to live here. It's just going to be so easy. I don't have to go bending down on the floor, stuff my old knees up. Dryer, washing basket. Washing basket lives in underneath. So cool. Yep. Now next week, I don't know what I'm going to do next week, but there'll be something. There'll be something worth watching, I hope. Send your stuff in to me and look after yourselves. Be nice to each other. We're going to have the Patreon meeting right after this. See you later.